Prince Lestat and the Realms of Atlantis is the 14th book in the Vampire Chronicles, and the purpose of the book is to ultimately explain the origins of how vampires came to be in the first place. If you've read the other books in the series, you already know about this. This book attempts to dive into it even deeper. And by deeper, I mean like way back before Amel met the witches and all that jazz. So the book begins with a prisoner who goes by the name of Derek. Rashamendes, who is a vampire who was introduced in the previous book, Prince Lestat, is brought to Derek, and it is revealed that Derek is some kind of immortal being that they haven't seen before. Rashamendes is not sure, but he drinks this person's blood because it's apparently very nutritious, and to his surprise, although he drank every single drop of blood Derek had in his body, after a short period of time, his blood regenerates back. In the meantime, Lestat, and indeed some other vampires, have been experiencing these weird dreams. They're dreams about a bright, pristine, futuristic city being destroyed and plummeting into the ocean. Of course, if the title of the book, you read the blurb on the back, you know it's Atlantis. You never actually end up going to that city in the book because it's been destroyed for thousands of years, but there is a connection between what caused the vampires to come into being and this lost city called Atalantea. A large chunk of the book is more the vampires and these immortal beings trying to figure out more about each other from a distance, and then eventually coming together. And these immortals tell the story of how they were created, how they were sent to Atalantea in the first place, and what their connection to Amel is. Because up until this point, only the vampires had a connection to Amel, and no one else. Though there have been insinuations that Amel is not just your typical spirit. And then by the end of the book, you learn the truth of his existence, and the events that occur in the final chapters of the book fundamentally change how vampire society is as a whole. If you didn't think Prince Lestat was groundbreaking enough for vampires in Anne Rice's world, this is even more so. It's an even bigger shakeup, and I wasn't sure how I would think about it at first, but actually liked it. I'm not gonna lie, I liked it. I was very, very skeptical when I picked up this book originally, because I'm like, how the hell would you link Atlantis to vampires? That doesn't make any sense. The immortals themselves are called replamoids, I believe, if I remember correctly, and it was interesting learning about their origins, and then the fact that they are very innocent, born into adulthood, basically, and they had a very specific purpose, and they didn't end up fulfilling that purpose, and either way, Atlantis was going to be doomed anyway. So it's a tragic story, one that we already know in some way or another. But the main purpose of the book was the whole link to Amel, right? And what their connection to Amel was, what Amel really was. There isn't that much put into how that makes it so Amel was capable of doing what he did. But that, I don't think, was the whole point of the book. By the end, it's kind of a bittersweet end almost. Like I said, it fundamentally changed things for the world of vampires. So it was a surprise good read. Like, out of this being the 14th book, and I wasn't, just like Prince Lestat, I wasn't too looking forward to reading it. But whereas with Prince Lestat, I was just like, oh, Anne Rice came back to the series after how many years? It's probably not gonna be that good. I came into this going, okay, so the previous book was good. This book's probably gonna be okay, but I'm not 100% certain. By the time I closed the book, I was like, it's a good book. Not as good as Prince Lestat was, but it's still a good book. I gave this book 4 stars. Whereas with Prince Lestat, I think I gave 4.5. I mean, it shows 4 on Goodreads, but it was 4.5 on the story graph. So it's still one of the better books in the series for me. I would like to know what you guys thought of Prince Lestat and the Realms of Atlantis. What did you think? Have you read it? Have you not read it? I would love to hear your opinions about the book in the comments below. And with that, I would like to thank you for watching this video today, and I will talk to you next time. Bye!